All right. So,
3, 2, 1. Hey, Ariel Kopac. It is so great to be here with you today. You are the founder and owner of Harness Your Hindrance, and we are also both part of the Coaches Culmination. And this is my favorite time of year. It's fall. It's Master the Monsters. It's Halloween. It's all those fun things. And here today, I'm going to ask you some questions about monsters, the big scary monsters that we take care of in our practices.
let's do
So,
it.
what monster do you help others master, and why is it important to master this monster, that big scary thing that's up in our head?
The big scary thing that's up in our head I like to tackle is the need for control, the monster of control, the desire for control.
Why are you and I talking? Because I have that monster every day.
We all do. It's a desire for certainty, for stability. And without that sense of control, we feel unsettled, nervous, and in jeopardy. So
So how do you support your clients and others, or networking partners and family members, um, get through and control that monster, and even maybe even master that opportunity of that fear of losing control?
it is very challenging, oftentimes not even worth it, to try and figure out how to be okay with a lack of control. That is a development over time. In the immediate, though, the trick is to shift your focus from control to influence. So it's
So
not
what's
just,
what's the difference?
yeah, not it's about not just letting go of control completely and saying, okay, well, becoming apathetic to it would be the opposite. Okay, I have no control, nothing I can do about it. Uh, Whereas influence is understanding that you can impact the situation through your language, through your words, through your actions, and that everything you do has an impact. So you can influence the situation. You just can't control it. You cannot control the outcome most of the time. You can, however, influence the outcome majority of the time.
So when you're talking about control, are you talking about controlling the outcome, or are you talking about controlling the behaviors within the influence aspect of things?
Ooh, complicated, fun.
Yeah, well, it's what I do, Ariel. Come on, you should know this.
Most of it's about trying to control the outcome, understanding your own behaviors and trying to influence the behaviors of others. That's part of the fun, and it's not a perfect science. It's an art and a science, and there's a lot to it. But just knowing that you can't control the outcome, there's too many factors. But adjusting the factors that eventually create the outcome is how you are more likely to get the outcome that you want. But if you try and focus on controlling that outcome, uh, there's it's impossible. So you're setting yourself up for failure by focusing on controlling the
So
outcome.
let's work through a kind of a specific example of controlling the outcome, just so that our audience member understands what you might be referring to, and that because we all have different ideas of what outcome might mean.
Yep.
So what's an example of an outcome that
Take
people
the
try to control?
simplicity of a sale. The simplicity of a sale of I won't go into all the details, but the idea of trying to control the outcome to get the person to say yes to the sales opportunity that you're trying to get them to say yes to. Focusing on that objective, that outcome of I need to get them to say yes. I need them to say yes. And that then generally triggers a sense of control of myself, control of them, control the situation, control the environment, control. But in reality, there are way too many factors. You can't control that situation. You can, however, influence it with your body language, with your words, with how you are making them feel, and with the information that you're gathering and how you're going about it. So there's so many influential factors. If you're focusing on trying to control the outcome of getting them to say yes, you're likely missing those factors that are going to result in the objective that you actually want.
Okay, so forest through the trees type scenario, right? I'm looking at the one thing at the end of the forest, and I get lost because I don't see all the other trees in the way. And okay,
Yeah.
so what's the impact of mastering, um not, I don't want to say letting go of control, but understanding that you have an influence how results happen, but not necessarily the control over the result.
Find it to be very freeing for my clients, and it allows them to, ironically, have a greater sense of control because they acknowledge they can't actually control the outcome, but they can control what they do to influence that outcome. So it results in a greater sense of ownership in many ways. Okay. And focus on the factors, such as the environment, the language, the body language, how someone's reading the reaction, those types of things. And it allows them to have more a sense of, well, influence and power in the situation because of they're focusing what they're inputting into it rather than the external that they can't have control over.
So this could go down a big rabbit hole. So I'm going to avoid that potentially because we have a very limited time here to go through all of that. That impact of understanding. So how do you support your clients in differentiating the influence versus control of the outcome? I mean, there's an art to that. There's some things that are there that are not, as you went through and explained, I'm like, there's a lot of things to go into here. But so how do you help them recognize the difference?
The difference, it's a great question. How it's a little challenging to explain because it's through that experience of the aha moment. So how do you describe someone experiencing?
That's what I'm saying. This could get really complex really quickly. But I'm like, I gotta ask it.
Yeah, I love it. It's good. And I mean, that the aha moment is that connection of that line, where that line is between when you're in control mode and when you're in influence mode, if you will. I find to simplify it, it's focusing on what I can do and how I can impact rather than what I'm trying to accomplish. So it's putting it out there first of what I want to accomplish and then letting go of the result. So helping them realize that no, this is not about completely letting go of your objective or your outcome, or it is about identifying first and foremost what you want to occur. And then once you set that marker, you identify that desire, that objective, then you let it go and you focus on what you can impact and influence prior to that, leading up to that. So it's that letting go of that isolated focus on that one objective, saying, okay, I know that's where I want to go. Now I can let go of that and focus on the steps and the strategies and the things that I can do to predictably get there, get closer to that.
So we want to go to Chicago, and we can either go down Highway 32 and take the scenic route at a slower pace, or we can go down I-94, and then we can either go around 294 and in, or we can go straight in through downtown.
Yes.
Gotcha.
And having that flexibility of how you get there is part of the fun, and that's the influence piece. You know, what's predictably going to get me there in the way that I want to. Relating that to sales, it's how do I get to that yes, or get to that sale while showing up as the person that I want to, as the business owner or the salesperson or the professional that I want to show up as, and the brand that I want to hold.
Okay. And so what do you love most about witnessing others overcoming that monster and challenging it, putting it back in the closet and burying it out till next Halloween?
The word that comes to mind is relief. Finding that by letting go of the control and focusing on the influence, there's a sense of relief. This weight has been lifted, this weight, because it's something that I couldn't conquer. I couldn't defeat that monster of control, and realizing that they can let go of that control and focus on the influence. It's a relief first, and then an excitement for action or pursuit after. So I enjoy that.
Changing their energy level towards the activities needed to get them where they want to go that they didn't necessarily recognize.
Yeah. And sometimes the energy shifts is the extreme can be from dread and guilt and frustration to excitement and anticipation and really belief in a positive outcome. So that shift is fun to witness.
Oh, and based on what I know of you and some of the folks you I know you've worked with in the past and what's happened with them, there's nothing but positive things about how you've supported them and changed their lives moving forward. And that is why you and I will not get along, because I don't want you in my brain. Don't want you there. Don't need it. Nope. We're gonna stay away. So, but I appreciate you sharing that control monster today and how we can go out and defeat it. So thank you
Thank
very
you.
much, Ariel.
Absolutely appreciate it. Thanks, Brad. I'm going to see if I can stop recording. There we go.